time for your daily crypto update with Framework Fortune Crypto. I'm your host, Ben. Now let's dive in. So we see Bitcoin getting rejected at that 35,000 so far, but it is holding up, riding nicely up this 10-day EMA. So all we need to see is it just break through 35. If it can break through 35 here, we should see Bitcoin try to get back up to this 40,000 area, which will probably bring all of the rest of the market with it. Now, if it gets rejected here, we're more than likely going to probably come back down to the bottom of this channel at the 30,000 area. So we'll see if this momentum can continue. We are getting some nice buying pretty much across a lot of the cryptos. Now that Ethereum has broken over this downtrend, we can remove the downtrend, and it's still getting hung up in this 2200 area, which we knew would be some resistance. We need to see it break over that 50-day on the daily chart here and push up to that 2400 level next. That's the next area of resistance that we got to break right through here. I'll go ahead and just mark it out. But looking at it on the daily chart here, we do have a double bottom. So we have this bottom here, a little push up, another bottom. So the break of that 2400. So break over that 2400 and the 2500 area, then Ethereum could be back on track to being very bullish again. But same thing with Bitcoin. If it doesn't break 35, if Ethereum doesn't break 22 and test this 24 soon, then it will probably come back down to this lower area once again, and we could possibly see a triple bottom, or at that point it would crack and sell off some more. Now looking back on the 4 hour, we can see AMP breaking up over this past support that was holding up as resistance, breaking up out of this inverse head and shoulders and pushing up to about 6.5. Need to see it break over 7 if it's going to start running again, but the 10-day did just cross over the 50, so not looking too bad there on the 4 hour on AMP. We may see it have a little pullback here to the 10-day around this 5.5 cent area. If that 5.5 can hold a support like it did back here, then that rip will come afterwards. AMP up 22% today. And Scale continuing its rip, actually up 15% today. So you got a crossover the 10 over the 50-day. This previous support held up, and this was the breakout of another inverse head and shoulders pattern, the one I was alerting yesterday and the day before. And we got a nice move up to 25, so we're testing that 25 cents on Scale, but Scale looking pretty decent here. Downtrend is now broken, so we can take that off. THETA, which is one of the new coins we just started covering thanks to one of our subscribers asking for it to be covered. Big nice breakout of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, going all the way from 450, this line of support and resistance there, over the downtrend up to 658. So right now it's trying to hold over the downtrend. As long as we can see that hold over it and confirm it, then this could continue to run. Looks like there's some resistance. Yeah, pretty strong resistance in the 750 area that Theta is going to have to break to really go back on a nice bull run, but close, looking good. It's a nice bounce across the market. Definitely some buy-in. You can see the volumes picked up here in the last couple of days compared to the last few weeks. CGLD has come up to that 250 area like we were talking about, looking for that swing for the break of this inverse head and shoulders because it is such a low supply crypto. It did run up to 270 there about 8 hours ago, and now just bouncing off that 250. So as long as we can hold above 250, right through here where it's currently at, we should see a bounce again up to the top of this downtrend. Now whether it'll break that or not, I don't know yet, but we should have some more move in CGLD before it sees a pullback. Just now crossing over the 50-day moving average with the 10-day green moving average. Waves, it's not on Coinbase. I'm not exactly sure what apps has Waves, but Waves in this big triangle of consolidation getting very close to the point of this. So soon on Waves we're going to see either a big breakup out of this triangle or a breakdown to the downside. But if you have access to Waves, it's definitely one to be keeping on watch over the next couple of weeks for a possible big breakout. So Vechain has that inverse head and shoulders pattern, but it hasn't broke out yet. You can see it's just kind of riding right along that 7.2 area, getting held up there. So it's going to need a nice big buying volume push to complete this pattern and break out like the rest of them have. And if it does, we'll probably see it up to probably 8.5, the 8.5 cent area. But if for some reason it doesn't break out, then that easily could drop back down to 5.5. CLV, I am swinging because it's just been going sideways, and I'm looking for this type of volume back here to come back into it, or at least something like this, a nice little move up from this $1.15 area to the $1.50 area, because it does have the volatility when it gets big volume to have a decent size move up. Now if it can't hold above 110, if it starts dropping back below 110, then we could see a sell-off on this, but you can see it's currently trying to break over 115. And we have the start of the 50-day there at that 118. But I think we're going to see some type of pop out of this here the next couple of days. For my Cardano holders, we are looking pretty decent here. We have broke the downtrend, trying to hold at this 120 area, testing that 125. We just need to see that break of 125 for this to push up to that previous resistance. We're not very far away from it. In fact, we could see it tonight or in the morning. 10-day has crossed over the 50 here, and currently it's bouncing off of the 50-day and actually looking really close at it. We just had an indecision candle off of the 50-day, and now we're getting a green candle up. So I would say we'll see another test tonight of 125 on Cardano. Shiba still trying to hold this little 6.2 area. What was that, 5062? It doesn't look very good. Shiba might have had its one big run for a meme coin and may be done forever. We could easily see Shiba back down to 0, which is not that far away from anyway, just because it's so cheap. But you can see just very, very little volume coming into Shiba since it cracked this downtrend. If you're holding this meme coin expecting it to pop, just be wary that it may never pop. It could just stay where it's at or turn worthless because it is a meme coin. This original rip was hype, and we had buying for a while there, continuing to push it up. But now it looks like all those buyers are done. So we'll see. It is, there's always a possibility that something can take off, but as of right now, looking at this chart pattern on Shiba, it doesn't look good for Shiba. So ICP is one that I've been talking about to keep an eye on. It did have a little break up, made a little flag, but rejected out of the flag. It's trying to hold this $40 area of support. If it can hold that 40 and then curl around, which looks like we're getting a little indecision candle here right at 40. If we see it curl like this back up, we could very easily see ICP break up to the $50 area, maybe even higher, because it does make very big moves. So I am still swinging this, but I did get in around like 33 down here in these EMAs. So if you like Algorand or you're an Algorand staker, this one had a nice pop up too, breaking its downtrend, breaking up out of the tip of the little triangle here, well, actually big triangle I should say, but getting a very nice move from 81 cents up to 90 cents, getting held up at 90, so it needs to break through there and then test $1. If we break through $1 on Algorand, then Algorand will be back bullish. But we've got a little ways to go before we get there. A lot of congestion back through here where the price is currently at. Filecoin could be one to keep on watch over the next month. Last time it ran all the way up to 240, so it's given back a lot of its gains. Pretty big drop, but it's trying to hold up this $50 area of support. If it can hold $50, then we could see a bounce off of this, and because of how fast and strong this moves when it does get buying volume, we can easily see it push back up to $100. We have this big wedge that it's in as well, and just got to break out of the tip, very close to breaking out of there. So I might start building a position on this under 50 if it continues to hold around 50 for the next couple of days. We'll see. It could also just crack this 46 to 45 support and then drop back down to 40. But as long as the momentum continues in the market, I would expect some type of breakout out of this triangle on Filecoin. So that's all the coins I'm going to cover for today. Everything is looking pretty decent right now across the crypto market. We just need to see some more push and a lot of these get above some previous support levels that are now acting as resistance. And the biggest one is going to be Bitcoin getting over 35,000. If Bitcoin gets over 35,000, I think we will be back into a bull market. It may start off slow and we slowly climb and hang around that 40,000 and all the other cryptos come up. And if that holds up and then we get some good type of news or Elon gets tweet happy, then we could see another big buy and push, maybe on into the end of the year. But keep in mind, with China banning the mining and the use of cryptocurrencies, that does not go in effect immediately as they put the bill out. It's going to take some time for them to crack down on all the Bitcoin miners and all the crypto advocates. And we're going to still see effects from that more than likely, even though it is, a month or two later since that news. The effects of that could continue to ripple through the crypto market through the end of the year. And that's why we need some type of other really good PR or news or tweet or something that will balance out what's happening in China and get other people from other countries interested in it. The biggest potential of all these cryptos is the fact that so many people are still not using them or even knows what they are. So even though China has a huge population, there is still a big, massive percent of the population around the world besides China that are still not using currencies. So as that grows, we should continue to grow with or without China. So if there's any coins that I'm not currently covering on a weekly basis that you would like me to cover, leave it in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts on the overall crypto market and any coins that I did cover. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.